I'm just going to give this a 10 count, maybe. There's our 15-second timer there. Yeah. So I just started, but then there was a problem with the camera, and I had to close OBS and reopen OBS, and you know how that goes. So I'm going to just double check that we are actually streaming again. Let's see here. Okay, looks like we're live on Twitch. I'm going to go double check that the YouTubes are YouTubing. Twitch. Let me go check this real quick. Okay, yep, that looks like we're live. Okay, cool. And we're back. So, I'm just going to carry on with, just going to keep on keeping on. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to need to have, actually, I'm going to have to write a little bit more node code because I need some node code that will, let's see. Let me think about this for a second. First thing I need to do is I need to test my little, no, I did keep here generate. I don't need to do that again. Also, let's go ahead and put some output in here. So we're going to have else echo found key.jwk.json. Created or found, one of the two. And then same thing here. We're going to say else found private key in .env. And I do kind of want to make this a little bit better. Can I do an or here? Let's do it like this. Or maybe an else if. Let's do that. If this, then, else if, then, else. Is it this? Is this what I need? So what does it not like about this? Couldn't parse this expression. Is it because of that? Oh, I think it's elif. Ah, there we go. And then what if I just didn't do that? Yeah, it still requires it then. All right. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome. I'm AJ O'Neill. I am here to code. Please take me to your coder. Also, let's get a little bit of AC going in here. It's getting a little warm. A little bit warm. Copied. Private key equals into, there we go. Let's see. Do I give this a read-only key? I think I can give this a deploy key, read-only deploy key. SSH pub key, Webby SSH pub key. All right, I'm gonna go into GitHub. Under this repository, under settings, deploy keys. There are no deploy keys for this repo. Little dongle. I do like the touch activated YubiKey. I'm becoming a fan of it. There we go. Okay, git stash, git checkout updates, git stash pop. Conflict. Of course there's a conflict. Right. Nice cool air. Feels nice. Okay, there we go. Git stash clear. Maybe I do want to allow write access. Okay. So nice. Today I might need some music. Can think on that. You got EOS webcam utility to work on the M1? Yeah, I didn't have any problem with it. I mean, other than that occasionally it just stops working and I have to close it and restart it. But I have both EOS webcam and Cascable Pro webcam. Oh, whoa. Did my network just clip out? It's telling me that I'm live again, as if it just cut out. I've had a little bit of problem with the networking. Okay. Let me see. Okay, and it says I've been live for 8 minutes, so good. Thanks. Well, which camera are you trying to use? Because basically, if you're trying to use anything before the T7i, yeah, good luck to you. You need to be using the T8i or later. And honestly, I don't know why I got the Canon. Well, I do know why I got the Canon. I just have an affinity for Canon. Canon just seems better in some way that is obviously not the wording on the box. Because the 4K absolutely sucks. The T8i, I got it and I thought, oh cool, it's got 4K, that's going to be great. No, it is, the 4K is so bad, you literally, it is unusable. You would have to be doing some sort of very still, maybe time lapse. It could probably work for time lapse, but it cannot work for 24 frames per second. It just, no. Yeah, the T6i, if you want to get that to work, let me show you what I would recommend for that. It's the Flint 4KP. Flint 4KP. Let me give you a link. Flint 4KP. You can get that to work with the T6i and before. And there are, of course, cheaper things. That one's quite expensive. It's almost $200. I don't think it was that expensive when I bought it, but maybe it was. It's better than the Elgato from what I understand of the two. And there are some basic basically there's some crapshoots out there that are in the $20 to $40 range that can be really, really good. But the problem is you just have to buy a bunch of them and find out, because they're wacko off-brands and one-offs. Yeah. Oh, interesting. There's a new thing called the Clear Click. Interesting. Huh. There's actually a bunch. Well, I mean, this makes sense because it took some time for the engineering to happen, whatever. But I'm looking in the other screen. I'm looking on Amazon, and there's a whole bunch of new devices that weren't around before. Yeah, it's a capture card. Yeah, and the way that it works is that it will only accept certain frame rates that are gaming frame rates. It will not work with frame rates. Well, work with frame rates that are for cinema. So that's kind of the deal that they strike, is that if you use it with a Blu-ray player, then you get kind of this weird thing that happens every 30 frames or so, where a frame is skipped or added or something like that. And I think that's how they get around the whole HDCP compliance bit, is that it will record things even if they're HDCP, but if it's a cinematic frame rate, it'll get recorded slightly off. Okay, let me get back over here. And yeah, so this is good. I'm gonna run that one more time. Then keep it. Then if it gets down to the bottom, success. Just so we can feel good, you know? Excellent. Now I need that token issue root. I need to actually test this. That's my. So I think what I want to do here is tee this to root.txt. .jwt.txt maybe. And then I can say wrote a root.jwt.txt. Let's put a little bit more of this in there. Huzzah! Okay. So that's better. Now I need something to API test.sh perhaps. So we're gonna need same stuff as we had elsewhere. Set-e, set-u. My token is gonna be equal to cat root.jwt.txt, and then curl. This one's going to be tough. So I guess what I really want here, let me see about this. Port 3000. I don't think that's what I actually want. Let me go to the other project here. We're going to go back over here, and then where I have this going is basically I add 100 to it, and that's this port. So if I'm going to do the API test, I should be able to source.env, and then I should be able to go localhost port slash API slash maybe hello would be a good one. This is what I need to do. I need to add another route that will use the same security mechanism for root. So I need a func is root. Oh, whoops, and that should have a return. It's easy to forget that for me and go. Well, I think that's just too little. This is a copy and paste job. What I want is more in the lines of some sort of error handler. So I could take in http.response writer and particular type of error, and then I could do basically this. How do I want to do that? I don't know what I want to do here. I think I'm going to abandon this idea for the time being. Come back to that. Anyway. I'm just going to say git sudo. I should probably change this to be sudo. That's what I should do. No, I'm going to leave it root. Hello, welcome. How's it going? All right, not as root. All right, what am I doing at the end? Just writing success. Oh. I think I want to do the response. But you know, here's something I forgot about. How about let's have HTTP result that isn't an error. There we go. Look at that. That's not confusing. Maybe I'll just put HTTP success. Yeah, I think this is going to be one that I can have. All right. we're going to have HTTP success raw. I'm going to go back up here in my init. I'm going to have var HTTP success raw. And then I'm going to do the same thing that I'm doing everywhere else, where we have a little... see, now I kind of want this one to be a pointer, so it's possible that it could, or I guess that would go over here. So it's possible that it could be empty. Because this really should be HTTP error. So I'm going to make this one over here. What is going on? What is going on with my network? My keystrokes are lagging. I don't like that at all. I don't like that one bit. Not one bit, Sam I am. Okay, what in the world? I wonder if it's just a network hiccup. I'm going to have to go back to developing locally if things don't perk up. Okay, and HTTP success true. And then we'll have HTTP success raw, which will simply be marshalling that. Must marshal HTTP success. Okay, I also am going to turn off the AC. It got cool enough. Okay. This is looking good. Great. HTTP success raw, that's good. And yeah, where did that JWS come from? JWS comes from right here. And then I'm going to go update the main one. This is where I actually have all the routes listed, is in the command. Sorry if that went too fast. By the way, feel free to ask questions. Tell me to slow down. Ask me what just happened. Oh, also, since I forgot about this, I'm going to go ahead and put set number in my vimrc so that you can see numbers. Now you can see numbers in case you want to comment on line numbers or whatever. Okay, so system only. And this is get. Kind of want to have it like this. And this would be get. Did I call it get root or get sudo? I think I did call it get sudo. I'll go back and I'll fix that maybe. Oops, that's not where I wanted to be. Let's go back to routes. Capital G get sudo. Get sudo tests that a sudo token is required. See, I think it's really great to have debugging routes like this. Dang it. Hold on. I'm going to clear out my history. Have it only load the things that are actually the correct things that I want to load. There we go. Okay, I was just switching files back and forth so that it would have the right one. All right, this one, let's just deprecate that. And then let's go ahead and build again. Hopefully it doesn't take so long this time because it already built everything before. So hopefully this one goes quite a bit shorter. Oh. So in August, I actually have to contact the Go group and see if I'm still doing this. In August, I'm going to do a presentation called Hello World's Greatest Hits, where I'm going to go through how to start a Go project using all of the Go tooling. So having versioning. I think what I'm going to do for this, my that random string generator is going to be the perfect fit for this, I think. Well, there's some things that it doesn't make sense to use with that, but having versioning in the build, using Go Releaser, having an internal package, having a tools package, using embed with a virtual file system, all that stuff is stuff that I think that anybody that's getting into Go should kind of have that experience of, this is what, yeah, this is using the Go tooling to its fullest. Here's how you go start to finish on a package that's basically just a hello world, but of all the things that you might want to use. Okay, so we're going to move reports v2 over into where it's actually going to be running from, and then I'm going to restart reports v2 or instance 1, and then now I should be able to do bin token issue root, and then I should be able to do, what was it? API test. So we should be able to just test sudo here. And then we'll want to, of course, have header, authorization, bearer, and then my token. Okay. And then let's go ahead and run that. All right, unbound variable. Post should be port. All right, port, not post. There we go. This makes sense. This makes very sense. This makes very sense. Okay, so also need to have issuer in here, and we're gonna have I think actually what I want to do with this is have an app base URL. App base URL. And then that should be the same as what we have over here. Call it app base URL. Yep. Okay. Nope, not this one. It was bin API test. Okay. And we want to put in here. No, not in here. No, we do want to go into the issuer. Okay. And then we're going to do, yeah, we've got app base URL. Okay. Is there anything else? There's probably other stuff that needs to be in here. Let's see what we get. Oh, I need to regenerate the token, of course. Token, issue root, and issuer is not a trusted issuer. Well, let's see about that. Oh, I think I know why. because we don't have the whitelist set up in the other one, in the other directory. So let's set that up. I'm just going to put that right here for now. Okay, and then, I want fish. Where's my fish? There we go. Sudo system control restart reports v2 instance 1. There we go. And then let's go ahead and run that API test again. It's taking longer. Hey! Huzzah! Cool. So now I'm probably at the point where I need to add some documentation. Ugh. I also am kind of at the point where I need a little re-energizer nap. Man cannot live by caffeine alone. Gotta sleep a little too. And because of the constant ingestion of caffeine, I'm basically a caffeine meme. I'm not a real person. I'm a caffeine meme. Real people don't live their lives like this. This is the kind of thing you see on TV. Yeah, let me get some more water. All right, what am I doing? Okay. Just going to go ahead and commit. I think I am going to go ahead and edit this deploy key. Oh, I can't edit the deploy key. Once you've set it, you've set it. Not quite sure how that works either. Okay, whip. Test sudo token. Bah Homburg. Okay, I'm going to have to pull this locally. Give me just a second. Let's see. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Huh. Okay, let me get off of this. I've got a bunch of terminals open that I probably don't need open. There's too many things confusing me. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. Okay, now let me open up another one. Move this over here, and then I'm just going to go in. I'm just going to rsync down the code. I guess I could do that from here. I mean, there's nothing I need to do off screen about that. So we're just going to go the opposite direction. We're going to go from the remote to the local. Okay. And then with that, oh yeah, I could still do this here. Okay. And then with that, I'm just going to do whip. Something about test sudo token. Push that. git reset dash dash hard and git pull. So there we go. Now everything's back up to date again. All right, so now that I've got that done, let's see what else needs doing here. Actually, I'm going to go take a look. I wish I could also stream work coding. Must be fun. Well, all you need to do is get really good at one or two things and then have people that want to hire you to do those things because you're one of the few people that can do them particularly well. And then tell them that you're going to go home and stream while you're working. Don't work at big companies. Work at small companies. All right. And if you want, I've mentioned this before, but the rubber ducking facet of this is really good. There have been so many times that I've saved myself. It might be sixes in the end. I don't know. But there's been so many times when I've saved myself a lot of headache because I'm thinking out loud and I'm explaining things out loud. And so I hear myself saying them and that kind of reinforces to my own self what it is that I'm doing. And then so I can solve problems faster because I've got this feedback loop. Now, there's also times when I get distractions because somebody says, "Oh, what MacBook are you running?" And then I say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go. I got this one," and I bring up the website and yada yada. But then that happens in the office as well, right? So it's not like you're devoid of distractions in the office. So I think that I'm actually a better programmer when I'm streaming than when I'm not. It depends. Sometimes I just need to be alone by myself, headphones on, tucked in a corner in the couch. But in general, I think overall, I'm better when I'm streaming. Oh. Okay, and I should probably get rid of these. I think there might be some real customer data in one of those. Okay. Ah, that was my first mistake. I worked for a big Canadian. Oh no! Ah! Yeah. Well, small companies aren't for everybody. Big companies aren't for everybody. I have no interest in ever working at Google. I don't even think I could do it as a mole, which is the primary reason that I would work at Google. I also don't like their interview processes. I'm not really motivated to go through with it. I don't want to be somewhere where I'm really, really far removed from the customer because I don't want to just be a cog. I think that, when you look at Google Maps and Apple Maps and stuff like that, that's the experience you get when you're removed far from the customer and you're not a user of the app, right? I don't think anybody who actually drives outside of maybe San Francisco, because maybe somehow the Apple Maps or the Google Maps apps are particularly useful there, but I don't think anybody who actually uses their phone for navigation in the real world wants the experience that you get from those kind of apps. And I've gone through part of the Google interview process and I was just really confused because they wanted to hire me for a position where it sounded like it would be more about decision-making skills than algorithmic skills. And I just got confused by the process because I was saying, hey, look, what I am good at is the holistic view. I'm not an algorithms guy. I have no interest in working on algorithm minutia. I'm interested in how do we get systems to talk to each other? How do we make for a better developer and customer experience? And yeah, I think I just ended up not. The conversation was confusing, and I don't think I actually went on to the code portion of the interview. I did go to a code interview with Facebook once. I think it was Facebook. but again, it was just really confusing to me because I, it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just don't get the big company algorithms interviews because you're really selecting for a particular neurotype, which seems really weird, you know, and all this talk about, oh, diversity, diversity, diversity. Well, if every single programmer on your team, their only core skill set is their ability to solve an algorithm that no one needs solving because it's already been solved 40 years ago, what what how is that going to reflect the products? And then we see, as a mole, you said, uh yeah, I would only go in as a mole, meaning if I was going to go into Google, I would go in to figure out their inner workings, their, you know, things that they're doing that ruin people's privacy, or the secret code that they're loading on devices that go in your home that do things that you probably don't want to do, you know, to be able to report back and say, hey, here's things to be concerned about. Because I think there's also a lot of political stuff that I would understand better than a lot of developers, because I think a lot of developers get wrapped up in the, oh, this is cool, and they don't connect the dots on, well, if you can do this type of tracking and you can do this type of tracking, okay, take that to its logical conclusion. What is the purpose of introducing this feature? No, no, it's not a job position at Google. Okay, I actually need to open up my issues for a minute. Um, there's a number of things that I could do with this next, but I kind of just need a refresher to kind of help me prioritize. Okay, we need to get the individual contact information out. I need to contact somebody and see if they've got some test data that I need. I won't be able to do anything with the test data on stream, unfortunately. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. Okay, I need to answer a question. Let's see. Let's see, what was it? Where did this just go? Is this, I think there's still a PR open for this thing. Okay. Just need to answer a question about some APIs that were changed. Do, do. Do, do. Okay. All right, now I'm looking over at tasks that need to get done. All right. Okay, we got the deploy done. Okay, let me go ahead and make what the, I hate responsive design. I just hate how, you know, every time you open a page, depending on the size of the window, you know, stuff's in a completely different direction, and then it's like, wait, what is this? Why does this look so different? Oh, let me widen this by 2 pixels. Okay, now it actually shows me the options. I don't get it. Does anybody want that? Did this actually get tested with anyone, or is this just, oh, seems cool, let's do it? Does anybody want buttons to change location when they're changing the size of a window from half screen to 3/4 screen? Just give me more room. If I need to read more, I'm going to make it 3/4 screen. If I need to read less, I'll make it half screen. I don't want the buttons to jump from a nav bar to a hamburger menu to a sidebar based on how wide something is. This is just ridiculous. You know, and if I'm on a phone, double tap has always worked. Okay. End of that rant for now. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay. Deployed. The deploy has some steps in the server repo and some in the reports v2 repo. For now, server is the main. Yeah, I don't need it. Okay, let's close that out. Okay, so that was done. That's done. That is done. That's not done. That's not done. This should be close to done. Okay, that one we should be able to get done soon. We should probably get that done this week. We probably get that done. Okay, so I think I just need to take a pass through this code again and kind of do a little bit of cleanup. But first, for the benefit of those of you that did not see how this all works, check this out. So with SQL C and Go, I get to write just plain Jane SQL. So there's this nice big SQL file. It's all normal, everyday SQL. The only thing special about it is that there's a decorator comment to say what the name of this is going to be when it's generated. It reads in the SQL. It figures out it's going to read it in perfectly. Oh, and this is the other thing, is there's sqlc.arg. This is because sometimes when you're doing something like a cast from a ULID to a char, for example, it will lose the name information that it had from up here. So it should have known that this thing is called ID, but for some reason it loses that information when you do the cast. And so when you do sqlc.arg, then it knows that the name is supposed to be ID for this as opposed to column 1, column 2. So that's just one weird thing. I don't know if that's a bug or if there's a technical reason that it needs to stay that way. But anyway, it's just really nice to be able to write SQL and have the SQL generated. There are a few quirks, not too many that I've encountered so far, but there are a few quirks where you do have to write something slightly differently than you'd normally write it. I think this was actually one of them. Yeah. So PGX enums have some sort of issue as described here. There's some sort of bug related to that. And so I have to do this typecasting of varchar rather than what I'd normally do, which would be, I think what this should have been normally would have been a record type in record types, or, well, this is actually, I think, what you have to do. Count the array length is as the array length is 0. So this is a filter function. I should probably put that here. Filter by desired record types. or all if none given. So basically, if you don't tell me which record types you want, then I'll give you all of them. If you tell me which record types you want, I'll filter by record types. That's what that's doing. That does deserve a comment because it's a little not intuitive there. But anyway, this is just kind of a neat thing. I'm not necessarily 100% sold on it for time and eternity, but it looks really good as of right now. And then we could take a look at the stuff that it generates here. Oh, also it works with the migrations the way that you'd expect. So you can have your migrations. The one exception being that you can't put it can't process scripting that's in the migration. So if you put in some Postgres script, it can't process that. It can only process the actual SQL. Because what I wanted to do, there's no way to do create enum if not exists. So I was trying to do the scripting bit, and that doesn't work. But yeah, so it'll read through all the migrations first, SQL C will, and it will get the end result, that perfectly get the end result. So after all the migrations have run, it'll know what the end types is. So if one migration adds a table, another migration removes the table, another migration adds a column to the new table, or changes the name of it or whatever, it resolves it to the very last. So it knows what it will look like in the database. Oh, got an itch in my nose here, as you can tell. And then it will know if any of your queries are wrong. So you get all of this nice compile time linting on your SQL, which is something that I've wanted for a long time. I thought, why don't we have this? Because it's something that's not that difficult. It is to do it in the way that they've done it, where it's perfect, but just to get the basics, just kind of the spot check kind of stuff, I don't think it's that difficult. And why haven't I done it? I've thought about it. I just haven't done it. Okay, anyway. Oh, what was my embed for? What was I using that for here? Ooh. Migrations. That makes sense. Okay, I've got my migrations there. Another early stream. It is 3:24 p.m. Yeah, so I'm not going to be on tonight. And I wouldn't necessarily classify this as, well, I guess it is. It's early for me. But I'm working on some day job stuff. I'm home today because I thought my wife was going to need the car and the other car's in the shop, so I told them I was going to work from home. Then I actually went in around lunchtime because I saw a message that said that there was a birthday lunch because a couple of the guys have birthdays this week. And I thought, oh, okay, I'll just head in for lunch since my wife doesn't actually need the car. Then when I got there, I found out that message was from yesterday. So, and the only other person who was actually in the office on my team was leaving as I was walking in, so I walked back out. So I came back down here. All right, and today I'm working in Go. So we got create ledger record. Okay, this is a bit that I need to go over here. So we're going to create this record. I think this is mostly not early. It's almost midnight. Well, that's what you would think, Marco. That's what you would think. But here's the truth. It's always purple time in AJ land. Oh, interesting. My clock is no longer at happy hour. I'll have to fix that. They do have more expensive clock pieces that you can replace with these. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, crap. Well, that's not good. Hmm. Well, I guess it's not bad either. It's just not what I expected. Okay. See if we can make this thing turn to happy hour. 10 and 2, my friends. 10 and 2. There we go. All right. As they should be. Much better. 11:26 p.m. Why, your clock's a minute off. Or I was over there adjusting while it was still 26 over here. Okay, what did I want to do with this? Let me go check ledger incoming again real quick. Okay, we got resources. And then I think resources is basically... Okay. Oh. That doesn't seem quite right. Record type. Okay, JSON raw message. There we go. So this is actually a partial. I should probably make it known as such, because basically what I'm taking is just a few things that I want to index, and I'm parsing them out of this. So when I'm doing this unmarshal, it's only unmarshaling the bits that I care about from the raw record. Ah, what did I do? Whoops, I hit a wrong button. Oh, do I not have the Golang command set up in stream elements? Let me go to stream elements. Let me go log in real quick. I could have sworn I added the Golang thing. And again, with the stupid responsiveness, just give me the buttons in the place that I'm used to. I don't need a million different ways to view your website. It doesn't matter whether I'm in landscape or portrait mode. I still want to be able to view the website the same way. Chatbot. Here we go. Chatbot. Chat commands. Custom commands. Maybe I don't have it turned on. Oh, it's Go. I have it as Go rather than as Golang. I'll just copy it to be the same, because otherwise I won't remember. They need to have aliases. Add new command. New command. Golang. User level. Everybody. Activate command. Okay. Now Golang command is active. So I will go ahead and do this, and then I'm going to repeat it. So here's the interesting thing, is that when I do a command, I would prefer it to go from Restream Chat. Anyway, I'm going to post this again for the sake of people that are on YouTube, because YouTube people don't get stream elements. Maybe I need to just connect it to YouTube. Let me see if I don't have stream elements connected to YouTube. I don't know if it connects to YouTube. Dashboard, activity feed, streaming tools, blah, 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 blah. Import, Moodbot, Inkbot, Streamlabs, Nightbot, TP Stream. I don't know what all that stuff is. Switch to light mode. Integrations, Tiltify, no. Channels, add YouTube channel. Sure. Let me just try this real quick. We're going to manage, see list of your channel, manage videos, view account, manage account, allow. Okie dokie day, show secrets, full control. All right, let's try doing this thing again, maybe. Well, I'm going to leave it alone. Next time we'll see. I connected YouTube. Apparently YouTube wasn't connected. But now we're good. Okay. And back to code. So I'm going to rename this from ledger incoming to, I think I'm just going to call it ledger partial. Or we'll give it a really nice beefy long name for now. Ledger incoming partial. And then resource partial. All right, resources, resource partial, ledger income, oops, incoming partial, ledger incoming partial, resource, record resources, resource partial. Okay. HTTP success is a successful, is a success response. Let's do that. Okay. All right, so now that reads a little bit better at least. Now, what I really need to do is I need to test against better data. So I could come up with something that's completely bogus. Let's see. I could come up with bogus test data. I don't think I want to do that right now. I think I need some real data to model after to make good bogus data. And actually, okay, I know another thing that I need to do in here. So I'm going to make note of two things that I need to do real quick. So one of them is issue sudo token for v2 API. Another thing that I need to do is get records by party rather than, well, not rather than, but in addition to by org. So party meaning basically these are records of documents. So say you've signed a document, somebody else has signed a document, think something like DocuSign or HelloSign or EchoSign or PandaDoc, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So multiple parties have signed the document. And so what we want to be able to do is that if you've signed a document, you should always have access to that document, which is something that really frustrates me with all the current systems that are out there. Is you go do, some signature thing, and then once you Once you sign something, if the company revokes your access to it, you no longer have it. And that should not be the case. If I've signed a legal document, I should always have access to that document. So that's one of the things that we're building in that I'm sure some lawyers will hate, because you don't. I mean, one of the reasons I think that they do that is they want you to not know what your rights and responsibilities are, so that you're not sure how to comply or how to carry forward. So if you don't have a downloaded PDF, you're SOL. But this one, yeah, oh gosh, that's way too much stuff in here. Way too much. I need to break this down. Okay, but first, let me go back to the first problem at hand. I'm going to go back to doing a little bit of node code for a second here. I'm going to go into a different, well, I guess I could just bring that repository up over here. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I'm just going to make the file right here for now. I'm going to do token issue root.js. And I'm just going to bring in key pairs equals require at root key pairs. And then we're going to need kind of the same thing with require dot env dot configure, or dot config rather, config. And I'm going to pass in path dot env dot env dot secret. Okay, and then what? What was I thinking? Let me go ahead and do mkjs. Oh, whoops, I don't have my mkjs here. That's another thing on my list of to-dos. I need to get my mkjs file up on Webby so I can use it whenever I need it. That's okay. I also need to get prettier. Let's see, I got my Webby JS hint. Webby prettier. I'm doing it with Webby rather than with npm, because when I do it with Webby, then I also get my .js hint. Hold on. This is what I want right here. Maybe I should put it up as JS init or something like that. And then I have a prettier file. My prettier file is not up there yet. Okay, anyway. Point with that is just, there we go. I don't want all of those distracting warning things that don't actually mean anything. Okay. So what did I want to do with this? So we should have let priv key equals json.parse process.env.private key. So if not priv key stir, let's do this one like this. You know, I wonder, I actually probably have something like this in the other repo. Let me just check that real quick. Because if I've already got this in there, which hopefully I do, then I can just copy it and only make a small change. Nope, not there. Is it under scripts or utils? Nope, not scripts. Utils. Do we have anything here? Add sudoer. No. Normalize. Verify user. I don't have anything about tokens in there? Seriously? Seriously? I thought for sure I would have this. Alright, well, so it is. So good thing I'm doing this. Console.error. Private key is missing from envs. Okay. And so then we have priv key stir. And then what else? I'm going to need to do I think it's key pairs dot. I think I had it as jws.sign or jwt.sign or something like that. Let me go look at the documentation. All right, we got generate, export, import, thumbprint, sign, JWT. Well, that's a miscarriage of justice. This should be sign JWS. Oh, by the way, does anybody know Webpack? So I try to stay away from these things because I don't like their complexity and they change every week. So there's now, I think, isn't there now Webpack 6 or something like that, or Webpack 10 or Webpack 13? What are we up to? Anyway, I think they made a big breaking change, and I'm not sure if this config file is appropriate anymore. Webpack, is it Webpack 6? Or are we moved on to something else yet? Let's see. How do we know what version we're at? V5, V4, V6. Oh, okay. Let me just try this real quick. npm info webpack. CLI, I think. Disk tags. What? That doesn't make sense. Oh no, they've got the CLI different version differently than. Ah. Okay, so latest is Webpack 5. Okay. So then this should still work. I don't need that right now. It's just. Ah. And I think there is something that replaces Webpack now, isn't there? Maybe Pancake Pack, Popsicle. I know it was broccoli for a little while. Okay. Yes. So I'm looking at this one. And I was looking at sign JWT, which in order to do that, first thing that we need to have is the JWK, if I remember correctly. Sign JWT. Yeah, JWK, issuer, blah, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and just copy this. I mentioned this earlier. I think this is one of the great miscarriages of justice in the developer community is that nobody knows the name of anything and people just make up names for stuff and just start calling it that when that's not what it is. And one of those things is JWT. So JWT is a compact JWS. I said this earlier on the stream. But it's a good thing to know It's just very difficult to communicate about this stuff because people just make up words. Or they just, yeah, it's hard to communicate effectively if you don't have precise language to be able to describe the things that you're trying to communicate about. Okay, let me go in here real quick. MKJS, blah. Okay, that's what I wanted right there. Okay, what else do I need? What is it complaining about? On line 25, unexpected token, what? Oh, you're not allowed to have a leading comma there? Okay, fine. Fair enough. My bad. All right, so priv key goes right here. Issuer is going to be say app base URL. I'll just call it base URL, I guess, or issuer URL. Do the same thing here. If not, issuer URL, base URL missing from E and V's. Do we have that in there right now? App base URL. Okay. I'm just gonna double this over a little bit. So I'm gonna say, because this is just for this repo, but there's a couple common patterns that we use. So we could call this issuer URL. We could call it app base URL. We could call it base URL. So I'm just going to say any of those. All right, key pairs, defined but never used. That's because this should be capital K, not lowercase k, because it is a module, not an instance. Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm AJ. Feel free to ask questions, comment, etc., etc. All right, issuer URL. And then, okay, things that we want to be able to do here. I could have sworn that I had this. Let's see. I need an endpoint. Let's put a little to do here. Endpoint to get user ID by email. The problem with that is that we are going to have a situation where you could have more than one user ID associated with an email, I think. We're going to want people. So basically there's certain things where people are acting in a different role. So for example, well, I guess maybe it's not that we want multiple users per email, but we want the sign-in experience to be that you can be signed in multiple times, and what you have access to is the union of all of your account accesses. So whatever the highest privilege level is that you have on those things, maybe. So for example, if you are using the platform as an investor, it's a different experience and a different set of concerns than if you're using the platform as an entrepreneur. So you may actually want, whenever you sign something as an investor, you might want it to go to, say, the PO box for your investment LLC. But if you also have another venture and you have an LLC for that, when you sign as the entrepreneur, you want that information to be used. So you basically, depending on which email address you use, you want a different set of contact details or something like that. Hey, what's up, Javi? Javi or Yavi? When platform? Do you mean what platform? So this, what I'm working on is savvy.legal. So savvy.legal. This right here. It's a platform for startups. I know him. I met him. I actually want to follow up with him. So, yeah, I'm working on a new API or a new way of accessing the data that's going to be cleaner and something that we can begin to share externally. Okay, anyway, what was I doing? Oh, so I was saying I need to endpoint to get user ID by email. And what else do we need? Do I need something that will allow me? I think I want this too. Let sudo equals process.argv.includes -- sudo. Or we could do -- root. I think root is actually more descriptive in this particular case of what I actually want here. So I'm going to go with a root. Shouldn't be a problem. Let's see if we can have empty claims or not here in a second. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to have that. And then I guess let me think about this. Yeah, I'm going to add an endpoint. Maybe not right now, but probably within the hour. I'm going to add an endpoint. Yeah, I want to test this first. Then I'm going to add an endpoint that we can grab the user ID of someone by their email address. I have a special flag for it so that it only works for development email addresses unless some sort of special flag is used. And then also we do want we're going to have the effective ID of the user versus the impersonator ID. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We definitely need this tool. We definitely think about this. Yeah, I should be able to log in via command line with my email address. So have some sort of command to impersonate. And then be issued a token that has my impersonator ID, the effective ID, the account ID. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna think about this, but we're long overdue for that. We've got an impersonation system in the system. The logging is not the audit log is not as good as I would like it to be, but it's getting better. The idea being is that all the time somebody calls in and they want customer support to do some action on their behalf, and what I want to make sure, and I think we have this good enough right now that if something were to happen and we needed, for a legal reason, we needed to find out what was the path by which the action happened. I think that we can put it together. It's just not automated yet. But I think the access logs for when the login happens, who does what the event type is, we can get that. But anyway, I like to get a little bit further along that so that whenever we have high degree of confidence, whenever something is done by support staff, that it is clearly indicated that it was done by support staff on behalf of some particular individual that requested, that was in contact with support staff for that to get done. Okay. Anyway, so I just had a lot of thoughts in my head that I was walking through. And now, let's see. I don't think we need the sub here at all. To do impersonator ID. I think this is going to be something like I also want to get our IDs. Now let's do, we're going to have email verified. Yeah, I think I just need a command line tool that goes through the process that we already have in place for these things. Because I think the process that we already have will do all of this stuff. So for right now, I just need something that's going to create a root token. The root token is going to be able to do some particular behaviors. Hold on one second. Okay. All right. All right, I'm going to move on with this. Let's console.log this JWT. Let's do console.info since this is actually something that I want to keep. And for those of you joining in, I was taking a break from Node. I mean, not from Node, from Go, to just do a little something that I need in Node right now. I am going to move this over to the other repo real quick. And then we'll carry on to test because the V1 of the API is in Node and the V2 is in Go. And the V1 is probably going to stay around forever. Chmod a plus x bin star. And bin token issue root. All right, failed to execute. Right. That's because I forgot to put up here user bin env node. All right, npm. Wait. Could have sworn I already had that in here. Boop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Private key. All right, we're going to look for app private key. All right, there we go. You know what I really want to do here, though? is I want to do sign JWS. I want the JWS back because that has all of the information easily accessible in it. And then we can just do JWS.protected. So just do let JWT equals JWS.protected. Oops. JWS.payload and JWS.signature. So it's called protected when it's been base 64 encoded. The header has. The header has been stringified JSON and then base 64 encoded. Likewise, claims, once you encode them, is called payload, and then the signature is always signature. There is no decoded version of it. Well, I guess technically you could break it down into R and S, depending. Received undefined. Let me go make sure I'm looking at the right thing here. Sign JWS. I'm going to look at the code for this real quick. There's obviously a bug in the documentation. Well, I guess not obviously a bug in the documentation, but there's a mismatch between what I'm expecting to do and what it is telling me I can do. So let me go into here. Node. Wait, is this the right one? Lib. Node. Oh, interesting. Okay. Sign. Okay, so I don't need that. It should be up here at the top level. Okay, sign. Because I'm assuming sign JWT is just calling sign JWS. And I think that's the case. But I think all of this needs to be pushed down one layer deeper. I think that's my problem. And maybe I need something like prepare JWS. Okay, return. Yeah. So then if I split that all up, see if I've got the decode function in here as well. No, I don't. All right. Okay, never mind. I'm just going to leave that alone for now. So JWS, we're just going to go back to sign JWT, put this back to JWT, and undo that. Okay, so there's the output, and then I'm going to use key pairs to inspect it. So let me make sure I've got that. I'm going to Webby key pairs again. For those of you following along at home, webinstall.dev. See, right there, right there. Oh, there we go. That's it right there. Can we, oh, it's not fast enough. Wants to focus on my face, which is kind of nice actually. But key pairs, inspect. There we go. Oh, interesting. Oh, could not find the key. Okay, root is false. Got it. Issued at expires. Key ID. Okay, I need to do another thing here. So this actually should be undefined. Let's try that. All right, that seems to work. Then same thing, key pairs, inspect, single quotes on this. I'm a little bit confused. Let me try this out myself. Curl well-known OpenID configuration. That's odd. .502. Huh. I wonder if something's been deployed to dev and is brokenated. Let me go check this. Okay, that's working. That's working. So what about... interesting. I wonder what caused that. Okay, I'm going to have to figure out why part of the server's down. Journal control, Zifu, rest 1. So just so you can see what I'm doing here. Journal control, Zifu. Good old Zifu. Oh. Oh. Interesting. What's going on here? Some stuff got deleted? .env. Oh, I know what it is. We have to run npx. What is it? Base tag link. Okay, that looks like it's coming back up. So basically, npm has this particular issue. Wait a minute. This does look like maybe somebody deployed to dev. I don't think it was me. I'm the last person to deploy to dev, but that was a couple days ago. And this is just not working now. Why would that be? Oh, I think that we have a teeny tiny issue. Okay. Where is env file? Okay. Star.env star. What? Okay, there we go. All right, this is a little bit weird to me because what we've got going on right now is an issue of the wrong environment variables here, but I don't know why. So let's see. Basically the MySQL string is the wrong string. Let me try that again. But why is the MySQL string the wrong string? That's the question. I'm going to go check on something real quick. Because I think there's part of the deploy process for dev is that it, I think that it actually generated random credentials for MySQL, or maybe it was just supposed to use those one on localhost, but in any case, something's a little off. So I'm just going to check on the other screen here, see what's going on with the deployment environment. Okay, that's MySQL. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Okay. DB URL, that looks right. Sorry, I'm on the other screen. I'm just trying to figure out where. Okay, when we run the script that sets up MySQL, yeah, it does that. Updates, DB pass, flush privileges, all that, and then DB URL out to. Let me just check here. Okay, I think. A little confused, but it looks like the dev one is supposed to be that. So I'm going to try restarting it one more time. Okay, sudo restart. It's restarting. Okay, now it looks like it's working. So I got to remember that. I'm going to have to update the deploy process to not overwrite that environment file. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, what's next? This all came about because I was trying to check out. Oh, by the way, in Fish at least, if you put spaces in front of something, it doesn't save it to your history. So you can go back and rerun it if it was the last command. Or I can't. But it doesn't get saved to the history. Okay, so here we go. Everything's broken down. There's the key that it should have found. Now it's found it. Yeah. So everything was inspected. Everything's valid. These are all the little bits that are in there. We don't have this set as root. Okay. So let's go ahead and try like token issue root. I'm going to dash root. And then let's see if now my token should contain root inside of it. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. I'm AJ. Feel free to tell me who you are, what you're working on, what you want to learn. Okay, good. Now we've got root true. All right, excellent. So this is the little snippet of code that we need for creating a service token, as it were. A server-to-server token. All right, so now I just need to get this bit of code into the node server. Yeah, so I titled this Go, but I'm switching over to Node because I need to make some adjustments to the Node server that is working in concert with the Go server. Well, actually, this might be enough. So let me just start with this then. But I still have some other stuff I'm going to have to change with the Node server. But I'm going to need to take a break in a little bit here. Probably go another 15 minutes or so. Take a break. All right. I'm going into some issues on the other screen. Actually going into a pull request. Okay. I'm just pasting in. Okay, I wonder if I can. Maybe I need to put this in. Actually, maybe I need to put this under. Whoops. Oh, I just clicked on the wrong thing. Let's go under source lib auth. And am I using key pairs in here anywhere? What branch am I on? Development. Yeah, development should have the latest stuff in it. Mm. Okay. Sign JWT. There's no way that that's not in there at all. If nothing else, I'm almost positive. Let me go into. Oh, maybe it's in source index. Yeah, that would still be the same thing. Web socket, because we have to. Where are we doing the signing? Oh no, the signing's all happening down library side. That's okay. Source lib auth. So how about auth dot sign JWT equals async function? Yeah, there's key fetch. We're using key fetch. We're not using key pairs. Okay, and this is all the same with the issuers. Let's do issuer. Put that in there. And then, do we get the priv key in here? Key. All right, and then what's passed into here, that's going to be the object. Okay, so JWK is the key. All right, so I got the private JWK. I'm going to use that to create this signing function. So we're going to have auth dot underscore priv JWK. Kind of don't want that exposed in that way. I'm going to do this. Priv JWK equals nothing. We'll do it this way. Priv JWK equals key. Okay. And then priv JWK. And then auth underscore issuer. Oh, what happened? Back up the truck. One of those things where it's just getting jumpy. Sometimes with the asynchronous linter, it does that. It'll just rewrite the file right as I'm hitting save. Whoa, like what it did just then. All right, save. Be good. Don't give me no trouble. Don't give me no trouble, bubba. Well, you know what? The only thing that this does is it encapsulates the private key and the issuer. And that's all we get out of this. But that's okay. That's worth getting out of this. So we got key fetch, and let's do key pairs as well. Okay. Why is this complaining? Key. Ah, what is going on, stupid editor? What are you doing? What are you doing to me? Huh? All right. I'll slow down so you have plenty of time. I'll just talk real slow. Okay. Okay, so basically, we're going to do object.assign. Let. Okay, so ops equals. Okay, sign ops. There we go. Okay, so now private key stays here, which is where I want it to stay, and I can use this function elsewhere. Okay, let me think about this a little bit more. No, this should be, yeah, okay, that's fine. So if not, oh no, this is fine. So we'll do expires 15 minutes. That'll be our default expiration here. And that makes perfect sense. H-I-J. All right, let me think out loud or explain what I was doing there. So the expiration makes perfect sense to have the default be for 15 minutes. A lot of cases, this is all you need for a few seconds if it's server to server. Issuer needs to be issuer JWK. That is what we're signing with. This is the signing key. And then these are whatever the ops are, so this could be overridden. Okay. Now I need to expose this where it's needed. So actually, let me just do this real quick. I'm going to go back. Okay, env secret. Do we already push this? Git push. Okay. And then I'm going to check out main. And I'm going to check out a new branch, which is going to be token issue root. And then I'm just going to add in this little bit of code here. Let me see if I can do that. So I'm going to do git diff pipe it copy. Oh, I don't have the iterm2 tools. Let me go ahead and get those installed. Install shell integration. Yes. 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 Okie dokie day. All right. Now it to copy. What do I need to do to source that? Let me try sourcing config fish config.fish. Profile. Nope. I'm not sure how to include those. Does that give me... Maybe I source .fish. I tried touching .config fish. Well, I guess I need to mkdir. Okay, we do have that. And then config.fish. Let's try that. And then let's try doing this install again. Weird. I don't know what to do about that. I guess I could exit and then come back in again. Weird. Why is my IT2 copy not there? Whatever. Git diff. Yeah, I'll just... Oh, I'm in the wrong thing, dagnabbit. There we go. Oh, whoops. Actually, let's do this. Update.diff. Cat update.diff. What are the major factors which influences you to decide to code in JS, Golang, Rust, etc.? It has to do mainly with what already exists and what type of work it is. So this is my basic litmus test. If you're not really sure that it needs to be written in Rust, you should write it in Go. And then if you have to, write it in Node. Rust would be if you need bare metal performance. Rust is for when you must scale vertically, you can't scale horizontally, or you need particular gains that even if you can scale horizontally, you really, really need the vertical efficiency. So when I say horizontal versus vertical, horizontal means that you can just add more nodes to the network, right? So I can log in to DigitalOcean and I can say provision 20 more nodes for this, or increase the the number of nodes that can be spun up for this automatically from 2 to 20. That would be horizontal. So typically, your cheapest gains are going to be horizontal scaling. So you just want to be able to do more things at a time with CPU and RAM. Vertical scaling is when you're, for example, working on a desktop. If somebody's working at their desktop, they can't just magically get more desktop. If you could buy a desktop, or by desktop I mean laptop, with more CPU cores, so you can get more CPU output on a single machine. You could get more RAM, you could get more storage, but you can't get unlimited RAM, and you can't get it cheap, right? So if I need a grand total of, so if I was going to do machine learning, I'd probably want to do that in Rust. Something where you need to be able to limit the amount of resources that are used, because it's really expensive to get more resources in one place. It's a lot cheaper to have 4 instances that have 4 gigabytes each than it is to have one instance with 16 gigabytes of RAM. Then Go is just general purpose. Use Go unless you've got a good reason not to. It just lends itself to good design patterns. It's easy to write. It's easy to learn. It's easy to write great code in Go. There's lots of good standard library tooling. Things are brought into the standard library very thoughtfully. There's a few design mistakes in Go. There's a few things I don't like that anybody could argue with, and I wouldn't argue against them for arguing about them. But all in all, Go is just a really solid language it's fast in terms of performance and productivity. And I don't think there's anything else out there that beats it. It's focused on pragmatic solutions rather than on theoretical convolutedness. And then why Node? Node is great if you need things that are loosey-goosey, or if you need something that will also work in a web browser, because deploying Go to a web browser doesn't make sense. And I mean, people do it for fun, but I don't think it makes sense to do it on purpose in production. Just a toy project or something. You don't want 2 garbage collectors running in a language or in a runtime. WASM, Rust is the main thing that you write for WASM. So if that makes sense, then maybe you want to get that out in a browser that way. But a lot of stuff. And the other thing, one of the reasons I really like Go is that it's cross-platform, so it'll work on Mac, Linux, and Windows all the same, and I think that's really important. Rust has a lot more of the problems that you have with C and C++ in terms of portability. It's more portable than C or C++ maybe, but it's not portable, not like Go is. And then Node is plenty portable, except that you have to have the Node runtime installed as its own separate thing. And I think they are trying to get it into Core where you can just bundle a project with Node, but again, you're adding 50 megabytes on top just instantaneously. That's a lot of, if the utility you need only needs to be kilobytes, that's a heck of a lot of overhead. And, you could say the same thing with Go. Go adds a runtime that's, I think, often in the range of 2 megabytes to 4 megabytes, with, bringing in standard library stuff and whatnot. In Rust, you can get things really small. So if you want a utility that you can easily ship and that's just a few kilobytes, Rust could be really great for that. But then Node is also good for things that don't fit well with a type system. So, anybody that's using TypeScript and Node, I think that's kind of oxymoronic. You should just be using Go. Doesn't make any sense to overcomplicate a rather simple language. But with Node, if you need to be connecting a lot of APIs together and you don't really necessarily care about all the individual aspects of every subtree of, you're going to grab this object from this API and this object from this API and you're going to stitch them together, but you don't really care about every single minute detail of the whole tree of the object, then Node can be a really great choice because it's just very fluid to be able to access any property on any object, and so on and so forth. Yeah, when I say theoretical convolutedness, yeah, C++ is definitely, C++, C Sharp, Java, uh, all of the languages that are the ones I criticize as inheritance oriented languages. Anything that's inheritance oriented, where the primary structure of the language is inheritance rather than objects, because I prefer the only two object oriented languages I know of are Go and JavaScript. In Go, everything is a struct, which is essentially an object. In JavaScript, you can just have everything be an object. That's what you see me do. I only use objects and functions. That's it. I don't use any other feature. And everything that you need to do can be done with objects and functions, and there's no loss of benefit in that. Languages that want you to have all of these inheritances and funky interfaces, and Go has interfaces, but they make a lot of sense. They're very simple. It's just duck typing. It's very flat. You don't get hierarchies upon hierarchies of interfaces. If you need to create a new interface, you just copy the interface that you had before, and then you paste it in a new place. And then you get the thing you need. Okay, I'm going to finish this update.diff over here. Paste that in. Git apply update.diff. Patch does not apply. Oh. I mean, if you look at the talks on creedsofcraftsmanship.com, that I guess I don't have, almost all of them are Go talks or just general software engineering talks. But then again, that's because you don't find a lot of software engineering going on in the Node community. And Rust, it's just that they choose not to pick a path on purpose, and whatever. So be it. Okay, I'm just going to copy and paste this by hand now because it didn't apply cleanly what I wanted. Source lib. I'll bring this back over. I'm just going to copy and paste. Off dot. What do we have here? Verifying. Let's get these pluses. Oh. Yeah, and I don't really want to type this. I guess I will. I'll just go ahead and put any on the ops. And then this would be promising a string. Okay, and then back up to the top. That's weird. Didn't this have something up there? Oh, interesting. So this already has the libauth in that. Okay, that's going to create a conflict, but it's not a big one. It should be able to be handled just fine. Okay, what about this other stuff here? Whoops. Where's the init? Okay. I actually don't want to base off of this. I'm going to get out of here. Let me out of here. I'm going to base off of, let's do get rebase lib off. Okay. Get stash pop. All right, stash changes. Uh, uh, okay, I'm just gonna go with, how about checkout? Okay, what if I do get apply now? Hold on. Get reset, get checkout, get apply. Okay, now it applies cleanly. That's why I was on the wrong branch before. Okay. Wait, where did my thing that was in bin go? There we are. And grab this as well. Okay, I'm going to add this one more time. Just going to take a peek at it, make sure that everything's right here. And you don't have to worry about sidetracking me. I'm an adult. I do what I want. Okay, yeah, after all that, this is fine. Okay, so I'm just going to put this in as feat add auth dot sign JWT for server tokens, etc. Token issue.js. And actually, I think what I want is not token issue.js, but just token issue. And then let's go in there. And then for the sake of those of us that, let's see, token issue.js. There we go. Let me put a little usage up here. There we go. And then we'll say if help console.info usage. We'll have an example. We'll have another thing. We'll have a process.exit 0 and return. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Usage would be token issue dash dash root. That's kind of, yeah, it doesn't need anything else. That's it. We'll add some more stuff to this later. Okay. All right, what am I going to do here? This one is feature when I add token issuing utility. Okay, I need to open up a couple of PRs, as it were. I don't know why I said as it were. I don't even think that makes sense. What are your favorite things to say that don't make sense? Okay. And token issue dash root. And let's see here. Just going to put in some usage auth sign JWT X claims. I'll bring this over here in just a second so you can see what I'm doing here. There we are. Thank God that I'm an adult and I do what I want, or that I'm actually going to PR this, or okay. So let's see. Let auth equals require. So base tag is one of the things that everybody ought to know about, but few people do. Source lib auth.js allows you to do this. So you can have root relative paths. That's one thing that just blows my mind that the majority of web developers are still struggling with, because there's not a native tool for it. And it's pretty low impact in terms of I mean, I think any project that is starting to grow, any project that is a standalone project should be using base tag. If you're exporting a library and your library is small, hopefully your library is small, hopefully you don't write large libraries, then yeah, I would not have this. But when you're dealing with several dozen files or more, got to have base tag. And the nice thing about base tag, one of the main nice things about base tag, is when you use it, you can automatically upgrade all of your required paths to base tag paths. That way, when you're in any file, it's clear where you're at. And because this works with a file system link, and it works on Windows as well. It works with a directory link or a symlink, depending on whether you're on Windows or Unix. And so your VS Code, Vim, whatever it is, everything's still going to work, because it still is going to go up to node modules. It's going to find this link, and then it's going to carry on. So this is good. Boom, 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 boom. And this one, actually, let's base this off of, this was so close to being included. What? Oh, crap. I guess. When was this? June 9th? Query challenge by identifier. Okay, I think that what I might need to do here is probably get checkout-b libauth b, just in case. C, oh, D, there we go. Get reset dash hard head tilde, give it 4. Let's see if this will pull in. Okay, and that should have not. Okay, good. Everything's up to date. Let me go back out to this one. What was this one called? Token issue root. And then I'm going to rebase dash I live off, and basically just drop. Okay, good. Okay, good. There we are. That's what I was expecting to see. And then this one should be the same. Okay, this one doesn't matter where it comes from. Let me go ahead and plop this in to my good old friends. Let's see. Uh, dun, 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 dun. Need to respond to a message here. Okay. Where was I at? Okay, so I pushed this change. What else do I need to do here? I think there's maybe one other thing I wanted to do, but I need to take a break. What was that? What else was it? These two can go through. That's been approved. That one can go in there. I might just bring that in. Let's see. Oh, why did I have that one over there? Okay. Let's update diff. Okay, so what I did there was we need the ability for the Node app to be able to talk to the Go app, to have a service token. But I think the next thing I'm going to do when I come back, and I may not be streaming. Yeah, probably I don't think I'm going to be streaming again tonight. Um, but I think the next thing that I'm going to do with this is create an endpoint. I'll go ahead and open up an issue for it in just a second. Actually, let me see. Did I already start a draft issue? I think the next thing I want to do on this is we have source API routes indexed. Let's see, where's our sudo paths? So require user, sudo debug. Okay, remove user from account. Add user. Okay. Post admin by ID. What does that mean? This sounds like we're going to be changing something about the account list. So to me, I would think we could deprecate these. Okay. Anything for users? Account, 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 account. Okay, user, get user. What in the world could that be? Maybe it's the profile of the sudoer? I'm gonna check that. Admin get user. Okay. Got some rando stuff throughout here. Let's see. Wait, did we go back around? Did we go back? Yeah, okay, so I think we did a full loop here. I'm not sure. Let me go through and see. I think we already went through all of this. I'm not sure. Okay, there's definitely the loop. Okay, so I should be able to see. I want to see what sudo user is. Because I don't think that's what I think it is. I don't think it's what I think it is. That seems like a, what do we call that? I think we'd call that a paradox. All right. Query.query. What? Uh, uh, well, okay, yeah, only. Okay, that worries me a little bit. Okay, good. It's only back office people are allowed to use that, but still. That is a critical security vulnerability. I don't like it. Or wait, is it being escaped? Oh, okay, it's being escaped still. Okay, good. All right. So we do have the ability to get this. All right, yeah, that's kind of there. All right. I think maybe then I just need a flow. I need a flow to be able to impersonate. Let me see the users. Let's see, I'm gonna make a couple more tasks here. Then I'm gonna step away. So I'm gonna go to my issues and oh wow, this is growing. CLI for listing matching users. So what is it? API sudo user. I should be able to log in from the CLI and then list users and accounts and create an impersonation token. All right. Yeah, very few lines of code contributed today, but I am kind of switching gears from the other project that I was working on. So a lot of, you know, again, getting up to speed. This happens every time that I haven't been in a particular project for a month and then I'm switching back to it. The first several hours are always, okay, where was I? What do I need to do? What do I need to prioritize for this? And I'm going to go ahead and put this into the dev cycle. I think this is kind of related. Yeah. All right. So next time I think I'm going to be using Node again and then go back to Go, because I think I just want to get some things working well with the ability to impersonate. And the reason that I want the ability to impersonate, I actually was trying to think earlier, why do I want this? Because I don't actually remember why impersonation is so important. But it's because in order to work with the data that I need to work with, I'm going to need to be able to look at a particular account and then query on behalf of that organization for the data between the two APIs. So the system's going to push data from one system to the other based on events. But when I, as a user, want to pull data, I need to be able to switch between organizations to do that. I also kind of want, I think that I'm going to put into the next dev cycle. So I don't know if I'm going to get to it in June or in July, but I'm going to do single sign-on partition. So let's see, create single sign-on domain. Because now that we have 3 different services, I would rather redirect, sign in, redirect back, and not have logic in quadruplicate, right? If we actually have we have 4 different things going on that are all using the same auth, and I want to consolidate that down so that we redirect to the site to sign in, redirect back, get the token, and then be able to exchange that token. So the way that's going to work is the cookie is going to live the longest, and it's only going to be available, it's only going to be effective at the single sign-on site. So if the cookie has expired, then you're going to have to redirect to that site, and it may redirect immediately back with a new ID token. The ID token is going to last for, say, 24 hours. And then...
In 40 minutes, we should leave.
Okay.
This is your hint.
Are we going to a rodeo?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You're so excited.
Wow. Well, I'll show my excitement once I'm not at the computer in the middle of.
We have 40 minutes.
Okay. All right. Actually, I am kind of we had a lot of fun at the rodeo last year. It was way fun. Anyway, what was I saying? I was getting around to. See, this is the other nice thing about streaming is I can go back and watch the last couple minutes here and figure out what the heck was I thinking before I was completely thrown off my track. I'm going to go do that right now. Right now. Because I was in the middle of a thought and it was completely broken. The thing that I'm going to do with this is create an endpoint. I'll go ahead and open up an issue for it in just a second. Admin. Oh, wait. You know what? It came back to me. Hold on. I remember now. So, the thing that I'm doing, I was just talking about before I was so rudely interrupted by someone who wants to make my evening better, was the single sign-on. Yeah, so the refresh token will just be on the single sign-on domain. The ID token will last for about a day. The access tokens will last for about 15 minutes. So if you're sitting down to do work, you should be fine. If the ID token expires anytime you refresh the page, this is the thing I got to figure out though. Anytime you refresh the page, do we redirect to the single sign-on domain and redirect back? Or do we allow the ID token? Let's see. Yeah, how else are you going to get the ID token? The problem is, daggone third-party cookies. It just really, really stinks what they've done with the third-party cookies, because now single sign-on sucks. You cannot have a streamlined single sign-on experience anymore, and that makes me sad. And you're starting to see this across many websites where the login flow has gotten more obnoxious, where the login used to be great all the time. Now you're having to log in more. It's having to redirect back and forth. It sucks. But I honestly think if they wanted to get rid of third-party cookies, they should have. Well, everything I say is, well, most of the things that when I'm complaining, I'm usually honest. So it doesn't need to be said. But I really wish that they would have offered up the portal spec as an alternative before getting rid of third-party cookies, because that just sucks. Okay, anyway, I am going to go. Thanks for joining in. Any last questions, comments, whatever? And I'm going to go check out on Twitch. Do we have anybody that we can go raid? Project Roast. Are you using TypeScript wrong? I probably completely disagree with this person, but I just like the title there, Project Roast. Let's see, is there anything else here? Okay, why do I have this? Always in my what appears to be a favorites list is this some sort of pools, hot tubs, and beaches, bikini babe, something or other. And I did not sign up to that. I did not follow this person, unless that maybe the bot, probably not really a she. I don't know. Well, I guess it's a person because they're streaming on Twitch. I don't know. Why is this person always showing up in my little sidebar? But we're gonna go. I'm gonna go with Theo, the roaster. We're gonna, yeah, raid Theo. It's happening. Can't stop it now. 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody. Adios.